50 years ago, if I said to you, let's go see a science fiction movie, would you imagine a rubber mask or cheesy special effects or a threadbare plot? You might be right, the science fiction films of the 1950s. But now we have 50 years of the Boston Sci-Fi Film Festival, elevating the art to the point of where they are Academy Award winning films. And I have some amazing filmmakers with me today who are part of the 50th anniversary celebration, and we're going to hear about their movies. I'm enthralled already. This is a series of interviews, and I'm already enthralled by the moments of history, by the new techniques, by all that is being done to create these fascinating films. Okay, so let's start with Chris Messineo.
Messineo. Thank you. Yeah, Chris Messineo. I'm the writer and director of The Strange Dark. The Strange Dark is a sci-fi thriller. It tells the story of a man who believes he's discovered a way to tell the future. He can't prove it, and his wife and daughter think he's crazy, and he thinks there are people after him, and he's desperately trying to convince his family that they are in danger and they need to leave. The whole story takes place in one location in one night. It's a pretty tight, twisted thriller. The story's told non-linearly. It's the kind of movie where you have a lot of questions when you're watching it at the beginning, but I promise you they all get answered at the end. It's a quick, fun ride. A couple other things I'll tell you about our film. Our cast and crew is amazing. Our crew in particular, about a fourth of them had just come off from shooting the sci-fi series Fallout on Amazon, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with. So our cinematographer was the cinematographer of Fallout. So he went from shooting a $150 million project to shooting a $150,000 feature-length film, but he killed it. And I'm really excited to share the film with all of you. One last thing I just have to say is we're still at the beginning of our festival run. This is our 6th film festival, but it's our first genre festival. And I am so excited to be amongst other sci-fi films and to be with audiences that just love science fiction and are willing to go on those crazy rides. So yeah, that's hopefully my quick introduction of our film.
Your ride's not so crazy. Your film sounds like a parable of what we're all going through. Now, when you're saying someone who can foretell the future and there's no way of proving it, going back to the 80s song, I feel like someone's watching me. We all have little cameras focused on us at any given moment. We all are wondering what people think of us. We all wonder what the future is. And nowadays, we're terrified of the future. So you're giving us quite the parable in this. You're also doing it the classical way. It's one set, one day, like the good old theater philosophies. Now you make the joke about how much this cost. How much did it cost?
$150,000 roughly all in, spent really wisely and with a lot of favors called in. So I don't think you could run out with $150,000 and do what we just did. We had a lot of friends with a lot of experience helping out and doing things for way less than they would normally do. We also were lucky we were able to shoot during the middle of the SAG strike. We got a waiver from SAG to do that. And that meant that we were able to get an extra amazing cast and an extra amazing crew because they were all sitting around with some time on their hands and a desire to tell a good story. And I think for many of them to get back to their indie roots, which is where most filmmakers begin. And so it was fun to shoot something that wasn't a $150 million Amazon production. It was fun to shoot something that was, a tighter story. We were all shooting in this one house together. Our adult actors were living in the house for the shoot. So for them, they described it as sort of like this adult summer camp. And it created a really fun vibe on set. Honestly, it was a pretty great place to be. So I hope that comes through when you see the energy of the film.
I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. And most artists want to get back to the good old days. We all dream of when we were young and children and what we did. And so you're giving them a chance to play. You're giving them an amazing $150,000 sandbox.
Yeah, and they get to make creative decisions without a studio above them running it past audiences and saying, is this approved? Do you like this? Or should we just get to do what artistically we want to create? This is a story that I dreamed of telling for a long time. The original idea for it got written into my writer's journal about 12 years ago. So to actually see it come to fruition and be, 95% of what I imagined all those years ago is pretty amazing.
Why did you imagine such a story? What was going on in your head that you needed to tell the story of paranoia and future telling?
I've always kept a journal, a writing journal my whole life, and it just gets filled with little tidbits. I mean, there's thousands of ideas in there, and none of them are individually brilliant. They just sometimes come together to form something that's kind of interesting. And the idea that came to me was, what if someone came home and told their spouse, what I do for a living is not what you think I do for a living, and I've been lying to you all these years, and we need to leave now. You're in danger. Would you actually go? Would you literally like leave your house and go, okay, I trust you now? And so that was the original snippet of the idea. And then it just blossomed and all these other ideas came on top of it. So yeah.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. That's the other parable that we have about the hidden jobs, the hidden things going on that we don't know about.
Sure, the secrets that we all keep. Yeah.
Thank you. There's the word, the secrets. I've always contended that horror films and science fiction films are clairvoyant. That what today is, a flight of fantasy, tomorrow might be reality.
Sure.
So you're handing us this.
Yeah, yeah.
Someday they're going to watch the film and say, remember when that was just fantasy?
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty intense. Okay, when is this happening at the Boston Sci-Fi Film Festival?
Saturday, February 15th at 3 p.m. Really looking forward to it. I will be there. Happy to take some questions afterwards, talk to you about the film and the making of it. So I'm looking forward to seeing, obviously, a bunch of other films at the festival.
That's great. That is wonderful. And speaking of a bunch of other films, we have Laurence Arcadias.
Arcadias, yes.
A pleasure to meet both of you.
Yes, and Robin Corbett.
Yeah, I'm Robin Corbett. I'm the co-director of the film as well, but I'm not actually a filmmaker, as Laurence may explain.
You're not a filmmaker, you just play one on TV. There you go.
Yes, right, yeah.
Tell me about your film.
So our film is called The Eclipse, and it's a very short film. It's nothing like yours, it's like a very, very short animation film. So we did that as, how to explain it? It's a series of workshops that we are doing through different places. So I teach animation in Baltimore, and Robin co-teaches the class with me. It's an astro animation class.
But from my main job, I'm an astrophysicist, and I work at the NASA Goddard Space Flight Center.
So we have this class for animation students to learn about astronomy and make those films. And then after 10 years, we thought, how could we bring this message to a broader audience? So we wanted to create those astro animation workshops, and to make them more like bulletproof, we wanted to do it with astronomers. So we submitted this project to the head meeting of the American Astronomical Society, and that was in Texas just before the eclipse. So we had a film of an eclipse, and we had all those astronomers who came to our workshop, and then they were able to, so we found like this very old film about an eclipse from 1900, and then we printed all the frame of the film, and then we gave that to the astronomers. So it started with Robin talking about what's an eclipse on an astronomical level, and then the astronomers were able, and then I did some kind of indication of how to use to do animation, because astronomers don't do animation usually. And then we had pens and pencils and crayons and all that stuff, and they were making their mark on the paper of the film, on the print of the film. And then I reshooted that. And then I recreated a new film called The Eclipse, and it's based on this old film, and it's all these marks of those astronomers. It's kind of very playful.
So this is sort of educational. So we're seeing this amazing work, and we're learning in the process.
Yeah, I mean, it's good because we wanted also to have the feedback from the astronomers about how we can make this workshop for people who are more a general audience who don't know anything about astronomy, because it can be a little scary. So how do you bring astronomy to a larger audience, especially little kids in Baltimore who have no ways to go to schools like Micah where we teach. So it's a way to demystify that and to bring, the joy of astronomy to more people. And we wanted also to have the feedback from the astronomers, because we wanted them to put at work, okay, do animation yourself and see how it feels. And they loved the experience. And they gave us also feedback about how, to make it better. Like, they had some kind of feedback about how to tighten it up for the next workshops with other people.
So you took film of an eclipse and animated it, essentially.
Yes.
How fascinating. It's so funny. It's almost the reverse, because we watch a cartoon and we wait for it to become live action. And so now you're taking the live action and making it the animation.
Yes, exactly.
Great. Now you say where you teach. Where do you teach?
At the Maryland Institute College of Art in Baltimore. And so it's a very special city. And, because these areas were very rich, very sophisticated, with a lot of universities and schools. And then there's also places with no money. And so it creates this kind of difference between, between the people, and then bringing astronomy to those people could be like a nice way to to change the dynamic of
and you're bringing it in cartoon format.
Yes.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
And so your film sounds fantastic. I love that you're teaching. I taught filmmaking for the last 15 years, and I'm curious how being a teacher of animation impacted your making the film, and also, did any of your students help on the making of the film?
Very good question. So they did not help on this one because it was in Texas. It was a little far away. But when we are doing it in Baltimore, we go to for example, the public library. So there we bring students to come and help us with a workshop, and they love that. They are very excited about that because they feel like they are invested in some kind of a mission. So they really like it. And for me, it's animation. So doing that is a part of me bringing my knowledge of animation to the service of people to have a better idea of what astronomy is about. So yeah, it's kind of fun. It's really fun.
You have my standing ovation right now, because you're sharing all of this with students. You're creating this film, and it's not just like to make a movie. Both of you, I'm saying this for both filmmakers, you're taking a major intellectual topic and you're sharing it with an audience. You're educating us. You're educating us as well as entertaining us, and I think that's absolutely amazing. When do we get to see the eclipse?
So I think it's on Saturday at 5, I believe, and we'll be here, we'll be present, and you'll be before us, I think, but we will be around, and we want to see your film as well, and then we'll be here to,
So you're both Saturday at 5.
I'm at 3, they're at 5, right? I think they're right after me, so that's fantastic.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Watch the eclipse.
Stay in the theater and be entertained all afternoon. That's absolutely wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, you go to bostonscifi.com and to pick up tickets to learn more about these amazing films and all the other films and the journey from outer space to inner thought from Boston Sci-Fi Film Festival, where they leave it to your imagination. I thank you all for being here. I'm thrilled to hear about your work. I wish you all the best, and I look forward to hearing wonderful accolades regarding the films. Thank you all very much.
Okay, thank you, Jen. Thank you, Chris. We are looking forward to see your film.
See you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.